Something I always struggled with was actually explaining what life I actually want to live. I feel like every few seconds I change my mind on what life I actually want to live, and I have so many lives that I want to live and so many things that I want to do and so many different people that I want to be. And so something that actually helped me within actually figuring out what life I want, or how to actually, what I need to do in order to get to this dream life for myself, is then creating an anti-vision. I'm going to be talking to you about how to create an anti-vision and how to then use that anti-vision to create a clear roadmap as to what steps you need to take, what steps you shouldn't take to avoid or to get closer to the goals that you have for yourself. So let's jump straight into it. When I was creating my anti-vision, I think the first thing that came up for me was an unhappy marriage. That is the worst thing that could happen for me. I think I grew up with my parents are very happy. They love each other. It's amazing, honestly. But then I saw quite a number of examples of what could go wrong. Okay, when it came to like marriage and so on, I had seen how things can go wrong and how people can end up so unhappy together. So much so that like I vowed to not have that. And my way of going about it might have been different from other people, but I then decided that, you know what, I am just not going to date until I feel ready enough to actually go into it. Now, let me just explain. Obviously, no one will ever feel ready to date, to be very honest. But all I'm saying is, at this point, I am self-aware enough to know if I got into a relationship anytime soon, I would most probably self-sabotage and it will not end well. So it's best that right now I just refrain from it. And something else that I was trying to like teach myself is the ability to be happy on my own. Because something else that I've seen is that a lot of people actually end up getting married not because they're in love with this person or they're so happy with this person, but because they're so afraid to be alone. So it's best that I teach myself to be okay with being alone, so that I do not end up just throwing myself into situations that are not good, into people that are not the best for me, just because I'm afraid of being alone. So my way of going about it was just refraining from dating. So all of my life, I've not been, it's only been 2 decades, okay? But like I've never dated, and until later on, maybe, we're not doing that anytime soon. I don't think I'm looking for a partner yet. I mean, I do want to be in a relationship, and like what other people might think, because each time that I tell people that I've never been in a relationship, it's always, but do you not want to be? Yes, I do. I really want to be in a relationship, but I have very high standards and I've taken the time to craft my person, okay, that I want. And my list. Yeah, I don't know about people that don't have a list, but I have a list of what I want in my person. I have enough time to do that. With all the K-dramas, C-dramas, and everything else that I watch, I have more than enough time to figure out to this person, okay? In terms of then figuring out, okay, so since I don't want an unhappy marriage, how am I going to go about it to avoid such a thing happening? So I don't date, number one. Number two, I do not want to be in a relationship just for convenience, so I avoid that as a whole. What number am I on? I forgot what number I'm on. Okay, I have very high standards, so I want a person who's very specific. And some people say that my standards are far too high and unrealistic, but what I'm saying is, I'm sticking by them, okay? But this is something that I have laid out for myself so that I can actually avoid certain things like that actually from happening. And I think I will be in a relationship at a later stage in my life, like maybe late 20s, early 30s. That's when I think I would have grown enough to be willing to get into a relationship. But for now, no, we're not doing that. Number two, when I thought about it, was a dead-end job in a toxic workplace. All the dramas that I've watched that trigger me with just how toxic the workplace is, where you end up being the only one that's working, you are being sent around, you're doing everything at this point, you're doing far more than you're being paid to actually do. Yeah, all of that stuff. I'm not here for it, okay? So as soon as I realized that, firstly, in terms of like the dead-end job, I don't want to be working I don't want to be doing a job that I do not like. And yes, I know that's very hard to do, to actually find a job that you genuinely love. That's very hard, I know. But I think I'm giving myself the opportunity to actually look for what it is that I actually want to do. By now, starting my own business and trying out different things and content creation, social media, all that type of stuff. So this is my way of trying to avoid then having to have a dead-end job, because that's the only way that I can actually make money. I want to do what I love, and if it means that, I need to try out certain things until I finally figure it out, then so be it. I think for me, social media, I started it, like the whole me starting a business was mostly because I realized, I stay in South Africa, just how hard it is to actually find a job in South Africa. Especially because of the fact that I'm a foreigner, I'm from Zimbabwe. So getting a job in South Africa is hard enough when you're South African, but then when you are not from South Africa, that's a whole other thing. So I realized that even if I'm outside of even the dead-end job, I might not even be able to get the job to start off with. So it's best that I find a way to make money for myself. And I did that through social media, through creating content, starting a business of my own, coaching, and all of that type of stuff. But that was my way of then avoiding a dead-end job, avoiding having to, have a job that I do not love at all. I have nothing against getting a job, but I do think that, a job is a stepping stone. It's temporary. It's not meant to be permanent. I don't see myself working forever until I'm 65. I don't think that's the life that I want for myself, but I do think at some point I am going to get a job. I will be working full time, but just not forever. Okay. So yeah, that's what I have, that's what I figured out as my anti-vision, and then kind of crafted a way around it to avoid then, actually ending up at that place. And in terms of the toxic the toxic workplace, to be very honest, I just don't want to be in the workplace. I think I am okay with just working remotely. Let me work on my own. Okay. I mean, I do love being around people. That might be the main reason why I might end up actually working proper somewhere that I actually go to the offices and so on, because I like working with people. I do very well around people. So that might be why I would I would actually go to a workplace. But I think I want to work remotely. I think that works a lot better when you guys are not in each other's faces. There's a higher chance that you will not bother each other as much. So remote work works for me. Number 3 is an unhealthy lifestyle. I think every time I think about future me being overweight, depressed, and just honestly not in the best position, no, it can't be me. I can't do that. And I think my way of then going about it was kind of different. I think I tried so hard to be restrictive and do all these many things to try and be healthy, but it didn't go my way. Okay, it didn't go the way that I expected it to go, because what ended up happening is I ended up burning myself out. I was just not happy. I was very moody and so on. So I started seeing that obviously the restrictive way does not work very well for me. So now I'm trying to find diets or exercises that are not restrictive, that are not too too in your face. I don't know how to explain it. I want something that I can enjoy doing, because something I've come to realize about myself is that I work best if I am enjoying the work that I'm doing. As soon as you're forcing me to do the work, we're not going to be friends. It's not going to work very well. Okay. So that's what I'm currently working on, actually finding a diet that works for me, finding, exercises that work for me. I don't want to be overweight and unhappy and depressed and, hating the body that that I have at that time. I want to be fit. I want to be able to run around if I want, to eat food that I like without being so restrictive, because I want to travel. Okay. I want to travel at some point. Okay. So that's the plan that I have. So I'm still working on it. I can't give you what diets I'm doing, because to be very honest, at this point, I do not have any diets at the moment, because I'm still trying to figure out what works for me. And then with exercising, I've been walking as a form of exercise. That's been going quite well for me. I want to add a little bit more, maybe jumping rope or something. But I want things that are easy, things that do not take too much. I don't want, HIIT workouts and all that. I'm not an athlete. I'm just trying to be fit. I'm just trying to, feel good, okay, and be able to run around if I want, like I said. Number 4 is a mediocre life. Now, when I'm saying a mediocre life, I mean a very predictable life. So having a dead-end job, kids that hate me, an unhappy marriage, like it just feels like everything is just falling apart. I don't want to live a mediocre life, because I know very well that will not be what I will, I'll be content with. I will not be happy with that. So I'm working so hard to actually avoid that. And so I had to actually look for different lives that I could live. To be fair, explain something. I have many lives that I want to live. Like I explained when I was starting off, I want to live like 3 different lives that are so different from each other. Like, part of me wants to live in a big city as an ambitious career woman. That's one part, living in a penthouse, big car, all of that type of stuff. And then another part of me is like, I want to travel. Like, I just want to travel, be creative, do all the things that make me happy, which include like writing poetry, drawing, and that type of stuff, like creative ventures, basically. Another part of me just wants to live a simple life in the country, like at a countryside. I've been looking at like these England countryside. Oh my word, they look so good. Rural areas in England are amazing. They look beautiful. Not like back home. Woo? No. But all I'm saying is I have so many lives that I want to live, and I want to live all those lives without ever having to restrict myself. Within mediocrity is poverty. I am so sorry. I can't deal poverty. Who? I like things. I like going places. I like eating good food. I cannot be poor. I do not see poverty in any of my near future. It cannot be a thing. It can't exist at all, because I would not survive. Okay, it would not work for me. So all I'm saying is poverty is not my portion. It's not my portion. I'm so sorry. So yeah, what am I doing to actually then avoid poverty? I am starting my own business. I am, finding ways to make money outside of like getting a job and stuff like that, so that I can avoid not having money, because money makes the world go round, whether we like it or not. Obviously, I need money to be able to travel. So, money is very important. But all I'm saying is I'm working on doing certain things that can help me actually avoid living the life that I do not want. I don't want a mediocre life. I don't want a repetitive life. I do not want a life that forces me into this box that I did not fit in to start off with. So I'm trying by all means to avoid that. The last thing that I actually had to think about when it came to my anti-vision was kids. I don't want kids. I know this is crazy to say, because every time anyone really comes online and they talk about how they don't want kids, it's always the weirdest thing, because there'll be people that will ask them, what are you gonna do when you're old? It doesn't matter, guys. If you've decided, I think anyone that decides that they don't want kids, trust that they have thought about it for a very, very long time. And, this decision was not easy. You know how hard it is to actually like go against what everyone else is doing. It's kind of hard. Not kind of, it is very hard. Okay. I don't want kids. I don't think I see a future of mine with kids. I've always been telling people that I don't want kids. It's not even a thing. I really do not want kids, because I don't have a reason. Weirdly enough, I just don't want kids, and I know that I don't want kids. I think I want a cat. Yeah, I want a cat. I'll be a cat mom. Is that what they called? I forgot. But yeah, I want a cat. Finding ways to avoid then ending up at the anti-vision, all these things that I talked about that I did not want, I have found certain ways to actually then avoid it. If it means that I need to, come up with like, what habits does a person who lives this mediocre life, who lives this, who's not happy with their life, who is in this position that I've created, basically, what habits would they have that have gotten them to that position? What decisions would they have made that have gotten them to that decision? What is it that they do that keeps them in that, going towards that place? What is it that they're doing so that I can avoid such things? What habits do I need to avoid? What decisions should I not make? What decisions, should I be making in order to actually avoid getting to that place? There's certain things that you need to think about as well. what is the life that you want, but based on what it is that you actually don't want, because not everyone actually knows, like proper directly, this is what I want. It's not many of us that know that. But when you create an anti-vision, it allows you to then, draw up a mind map of like, okay, since I don't want this, what other options do I have so that I can actually avoid that? And you work according to that. And I think it would work. Just, try it out for yourself. Let me know how that goes for you. But for me, I'm currently working with my anti-vision and it's been going well. And I hope this video actually inspires you to create your own anti-vision, to figure out what you don't want, so that you can figure out what it is that you actually do want. Because I know this is one of the best ways that you can actually go about it. Where did I learn it from? It was from Dan Cole, someone that I would strongly suggest that you actually go and watch his videos. I will link one of his videos. I can't even decide which one, but I'll link one of his videos so that you can actually go and watch it and decide, see on your own how you can actually make use of the anti-vision, and change your life, okay? Create your dream life and, get closer and closer to actually living that life. We're not there yet, but we're working towards it. And I think the journey is the whole thing, okay? It's not about the destination itself. It's about the journey. How exactly you're working towards getting to that place is actually very, very important. And I hope this video inspires you to not only actually create your anti-vision, but dream big. Think of things that, are outside the box, things that other people might not consider to be normal, okay? And do that. If that's what makes you happy, if that's what makes you feel content, then make sure that you actually work on that. But thank you very much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. And let me know in the comments, what is your anti-vision? One thing that is in your anti-vision, one thing that you really do not want in your life, in your future. You don't want that thing no matter what, okay? Make sure that you stick around and I will see you in the next video.